This is the Wel-X-Trol WX-203. It's a 32-gallon pressure tank. I'm gonna go over what a pressure tank does, how it works. I'll go over some installation tips, and I'll show you all of its features. So the Wel-X-Trol is made by Amtrol, and they're actually based in my state, in West Warwick, Rhode Island. They're made in America. I pass by their manufacturing facility almost every day. So this is a well-made product backed by a 7-year warranty. Now there's two different versions of the 203. The 203 has the metal base like this, but there's also one that has the plastic base. But here's the pressure tank that it's going to be replacing. And so this pressure tank goes basically right where your well water comes into your house. There's this T assembly right here. Now, all of this stuff right here, you can actually buy as like a kit. This is your pressure switch, your pressure gauge, your drain, and your relief valve. So this is an overpressure relief valve. And you're also gonna want a check valve to prevent backflow back towards your well pump. And then you're gonna wanna add a shutoff valve right after this assembly. So you can actually, if you look it up, you can actually buy this entire assembly with the pressure switch, the gauge, everything all as just like one unit. That way you don't have to like buy all the parts individually. So definitely check that out. But that's not included with the pressure tank. You're basically just gonna get the tank itself. One thing is this is actually really light. It's only like 40 something pounds. But basically at the bottom here, you can see that little 90-degree fitting, and then this hole right here. So that T fitting comes out just like that. And that's it. It's actually really simple. So here's how the pressure tank works. So there's a heavy duty butyl diaphragm in the tank here. And what happens is from the factory, this portion of the tank is gonna have a certain amount of pressure, air pressure, and you can actually fill, there's a valve at the top right there that you can fill. It's a regular like bicycle valve. So it'll come pre-pressurized with like 30 or 40 PSI, and what happens is your pump will fill this up with water, and the air will compress and it'll build up this pressure. So the pump fills up this pressure tank, and your pressure switch that you have installed right there will shut off the pump once the predetermined pressure has been reached. And so you have all this potential pressure in here that's just waiting, and when you open a faucet, the pressure, the pump doesn't have to turn on when you open a faucet. That pressure is actually coming from this tank. So that air starts to expand and it pushes that water out of the pressure tank, out of the faucet. Now, when the pressure drops below the threshold of the pressure switch, it'll tell the pump to turn back on and it'll repressurize the tank. So it just alleviates your pump from having to turn on, off, on, off, on, off. And that's basically how it works. Now, there are several different models of the Wel-X-Trol pressure tank. They have inline models that are smaller. Those are the WX-101 through 200. Those look like this. The 203 right here is a 32-gallon tank. Now, you know, just from my research, the bigger, you can't have too large of a tank, but you can have too small of a tank. So it is always better to go a little bit larger if you're unsure of the size that you need. But the height is 47 inches, the diameter is 15 inches, and the connection at the bottom there is a 1-inch NPT fitting, and you can see kind of the diagram of some of these other dimensions here. And again, it's only 43 pounds, so it looks a lot heavier than it really is. So hopefully this helps you out with your installation planning. And yeah, this is the valve right at the top here. You really don't even have to do anything with this unless you ever need to kind of check the pressure or top it off. But it's just a regular kind of bicycle valve. This at the top here, this is just kind of a trim piece. They've got a nut welded on the top here. They just use that for manufacturing when they powder coat the tank. So this doesn't do anything. It's just like a little trim piece up at the top there. All right, so that's my overview of the WX-203 Wel-X-Trol well pressure tank.